Hey everybody, welcome to Street Talk. Hey John Turnipseed, my man, I just want to shake hands, brother. Ain't it nice to be in this Minneapolis television news studio where you can lay back and chill and relax right in the midst of Northeast Minneapolis and relaxing, man. Thanks to Val and the rest of the staff. Doesn't it look nice?
Yeah, it's actually comfortable, real, like, I feel like I'm in the living room.
We're sitting in the living room of the Minneapolis Television Studio Network, and just remember this, you can have your own show too. We ain't the only ones that got shows. You can have your show, and you can sit here right here with all your guests and talk about great things and produce great shows and give out great information.
Yes,
How about that, John?
Absolutely, absolutely. I've been telling people that they can have a TV show. And they're like, no, really? Yeah, really.
Yeah, all it takes is a little planning, a little bit of organizing, and knowing what you're talking about. You can't get on
You
there.
don't even got to know what you're talking about.
Well, at least we try to know what we're talking about.
But yeah, you can get, that's the beauty of TV. You can do it, say anything you want.
Well, the other beauty is if you get on here and you don't know what you're talking about, you won't be doing that many shows, that's for sure. You can be guaranteed that. You know, I'm going to tell you, Val is cool and she's flexible and she's loving and she's caring and kind. But if you come on here and you don't know what you're doing, that's another project that she'll have no problem telling you, go get some training and come back later.
Amen.
So John, let's talk a little bit about what's going on, man. Minneapolis made World Hip Hop, World Star Hip Hop. Wendy's on Broadway. Young people went crazy, throwing tables and chairs and.
Wendy's on Broadway.
Yep, right on Broadway, across the street from the club there, right there on Broadway. If you go on YouTube, you look it up, and they're just throwing tables and chairs and just going nuts, tearing up the place.
When did this happen?
This happened Thursday. I think it was last Thursday or last Wednesday, sometime last week. That's what happened. And so it's on World
Just to
Star.
be tearing something up. Were they old?
These are young kids.
Oh, okay.
Young kids throwing tables and chairs at each other. We had a wonderful basketball game at Henry High School, and at the end, though, there were multiple fights.
Multiple fights.
But I think I could count, there were probably about 2,000 people there. It was a great turnout.
How many joined in the fight?
I think probably we had about 10, 15 fights at least out there. And there's something.
Just tell me this was not black kids, was it?
These are African American kids. So
how did I know? How did I even think that?
Well, there's a reason. There's something going wrong with our kids, and I have a few of the answers. One of them is the quality of parenting. That when you don't respect your elders, there's a reason why. Either you've been getting high with them, they've been getting high with you, y'all been doing dirt together, or you just don't have them in your life. When you don't respect the elders, then you don't respect order. You know, to see kids that are doing and thriving in sports, doing well, and families come together to celebrate, sometimes that makes you, sometimes I believe it makes you angry that you're not a part of that celebration.
Absolutely. Now, were there not parents in the audience or there?
At the Wendy's, there were no parents involved.
No, I'm talking about at the basketball game.
There were some, mostly grandmothers and a lot of Caucasian parents.
Not a lot of fathers.
Very few fathers.
Very few fathers. That's what I'm talking about. Very few fathers. You know, if I'm at a place with one of my kids and they even get in an argument with somebody, I'm the person to say, hey, what are you doing? Chill out. Sit down. You know, I don't need the police or nothing. If it's one of my kids, I can calm my own kid down. But I got to be there to do that.
Right, and that's the same situation, but if you're doing exactly what your mom does, it was cuss and fight.
Oh, yeah.
And there was even a female parent there that she was throwing knuckles. I had to stop and say, ma'am, I thought you were a kid, hold up. Well, I asked her, why are you doing this? Because they hit my daughter. She called me, they ain't gonna beat on my daughter. But parents have always took a different stance. We have always been like, let's sit down and talk, have those conversations. Remove your daughter right there, and then come back later with the parents and let's talk.
Yeah.
What's going wrong with our kids, John? What's wrong?
Yeah, we seem to have lost a generation, a whole generation, especially the 2 generations under us. Let's go there. The 18, 19-year-old. They, a lot of them were raised by wolves. They're raised in the street, raised by social media, with no parental guidance or involvement. Fathers have left the home and like fathers are having kids and act like they never had them and stuff. I was talking to a young man today. He said him and his kids don't talk. And I said, well, why not? He said, because all they want is money. Well, there's a reason why all they want is money. You know, it's how they were raised. He didn't like hearing that, but that was, you know, if your kid always wants money from you, you spoiled them rotten in the beginning, or you were absent enough that they think you owe them, and that's a problem too. But if your kids just don't respect you and don't want to be around you, that's a whole different ballgame.
Absolutely. Now here's what we got to do, John. Men, we got to stand up, man. I know you're busy making money and doing everything you need to do, but you got to participate in your kids' activities, especially when it comes to funerals, basketball games, anything where there's a large crowd, especially in our inner city community. Men, we need y'all there. If you're there, then we don't have to confront your kids. We don't have to deal with your baby, because then you can deal with your baby. The problem is, y'all use these events and activities for daycares. Mm-hmm. Kids are gone, good. I can do what I want to do.
Yeah. You know, and if you're there, you're just by your very presence, your kid, if you're a good parent, won't act up. You know, when I was coming up, even though in my craziest days, if my grandmother and mom was in the room, I wouldn't even, you better not even cuss, you better not do nothing. You know, mom's here, grandma's here, Now, I put that cigarette out. You know, no, definitely not no smoking, no weed, and all that other stuff that goes on. But, you know, that's every individual's job, if you love and respect your mom and dad.
Well, and that's where we look at, how do you have love and respect for people that allow you to be abused, for people that force you to sell dope, for people that leave you and abandon you, for people that treat you with disrespect, for people that don't show you the love you desire, for people that put a man before they put you, or a woman before they put you. How do you show love and respect for that, John?
You know, yeah, people that have generally not been loved and respected have a hard time with that. You know, they know it when they see it. They know, kids know if they're getting what they need from you. Kids know, and they have a long memory. Kids will remember things that happened to them and the ways they were treated when they were younger. And usually, when they're 40 years old, they'll finally tell you, you know, this is how I felt. This is how you treated me. This is, you always did this and you always did that. Kids have to have the ability and respect to speak out. And you need to have conversations with your kids. You know, a lot of us don't. We just expect them to just grow up and go off and do their own thing and stuff. They don't know how to do their own thing.
They don't. And so today we're asking our mothers and our fathers, and especially our men, man. You know, let me, before I even say that, I want to say thank you to all the coaches and the teachers and the ministers that are doing the work. Thank you to all the parents, the good parents, that are actually doing the work that we need done. Thank you so much. Thank you, and God bless you. And we cannot pay you enough or reward you enough for all that you've done. But for you parents that are half parenting your kids and putting your car, your clothes, the drugs, all that before, for all those brothers that stand up on Lake Street, that stand up on Broadway, that stand up over on Laurie and Penn over there at the liquor store, all them brothers that congregate at the liquor store. Here's what's amazing. If you go to a liquor store in the suburbs, John, how come you don't see people standing out there?
It's not allowed. Just is not. It's called loitering. And the police will come and move you. You will not do that in front of a Richfield, Edina liquor store. It's not allowed.
So why are people allowed to Lindale and Broadway and, you know, Plymouth and Fremont and, you know, Chicago and Lake? Water all day and all night till the liquor store closes.
Yeah, till the liquor store closes. And it's not the police's fault. It's the community that allows it. You know, and if the police started busting up those loiterers, somebody would be hollering about police brutality. Somebody would be hollering about how they treat us. You know, sometimes the police treat us that way because that's the way they think of us. Oh, that's what they do. They just hang out there, you know. That, so sometimes it's police attitude, but our community allows for hanging out and stuff. Every time I go up there, past Broadway and all that, I see those same group.
Right.
And I know some of the people that loiter. I see the same group, especially in the summer. And little kids is walking by, they're cussing and laying down drunk and all this kind of stuff. When I was in Africa, I went to Kenya. They did not allow public intoxication before 5. You couldn't be sitting outside drinking. Nobody. I was saying, where's all the drunks at? He said, we don't do that here. You wait until the evening when everybody stops working, and then you can get, drink a little bit. There wasn't a liquor store on every corner, Matter of fact, I don't think I seen a liquor store while I was there. And I was in the middle of downtown Kenya, but maybe they look different or something, but I didn't see nobody drunk. And actually in Africa, you can't be on a street corner begging for money unless you are severely handicapped. Severely. You've got to be blind or can't walk, because they've got jobs. You can get a job breaking rocks over there.
That makes some money.
It makes some money.
So when you got a LSB in your neighborhood and you're wondering,
LSB.
what's LSB, liquor store brother.
Oh, okay.
And you got a LSB in your neighborhood, and you're wondering, where are the kids for the LSB? The liquor store brother. The brother that stands in front of the liquor store has got kids.
Yeah.
The sister that stands with the brother, the LSS, liquor store sister, has kids. And I remember certain kids that I work with saying, there go my daddy right there. He's not going to, he ain't gonna help me.
Yeah.
There's my daddy right there. He's not gonna change anything. He's not going, that's where he goes. When I want him, he's right there. If he got a couple of dollars, I can get it. But other than that, he can't help me. He's begging himself.
Yeah, that's true.
Most in the suburbs, people go to liquor stores because they are entertaining, or they could be alcoholics, but working alcoholics. But many of these neighborhood liquor stores, these brothers are not working anymore. They're panhandling their way from one drink and one drug to the next.
Yeah.
And we allow that, and we don't even confront these brothers. Well, we do. When we're on the block, we say, come on, man, you can do better. There's a brother that's been getting high shooting heroin, man, since I started MadDads. His thigh is this big right now, his calves. He said, I should have gotten with you, brother, when I met you 20 years ago, when I could walk. He said, I can't walk no more, and I'm still addicted to heroin. And he started crying because he was LSB, a liquor store brother. And it breaks my heart because we got some good, smart, intelligent people that are spending their days and nights in front of the liquor store or the dope house.
Yeah, and after a while, the repetition of getting high every day just becomes a part of your life. And you give up hope and your dreams are shattered. And then you actually believe that there's nothing else for you, So a lot of these guys out there, some of them would change if they had some hope.
Well, they would have some hope if they were white.
Why?
Because
why
see, in Edina and Minnetonka, if there was a bunch of white people standing in front of the liquor store all day and all night, there would be a social service created for that. The White Liquor Store Protection Program.
What? Okay.
And it would be funded by white people, and there would be a program. Sir, I know you're standing out in front of the liquor store today. What we're going to do for you, we've got a program for you. Here's a bus card. Here's a place for you to stay. Here's a card for liquor when you need it. Just go get your liquor and go home.
No, I don't think they get a liquor card.
You need a liquor card, yeah.
I just, I bought most of it, but that one I didn't,
You don't want the liquor card?
No. But no, that's actually a good thing, that, a group of people would look after people that look like and act like them. That's actually a good thing, and a lot of cultures do that. You don't see, there's a lot of Latino stores but they don't allow each other to hang out in front of their stores.
Right.
They will move the people.
Well, you know, I remember when people tried to hang out in front of my house when I stayed on Oakland.
Yeah, I remember that.
Some of them were your family.
Yeah.
And I called the police.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, I came home, and 4 of them walked up to me and said, "Hey, man, you called the police on me?" And I said, "Yep, because I got kids in here, I got family here, I got people that I love, and when I'm not home, I want to make sure my family's protected. I called the police on you." Had I not told the truth, I think they would have tried to get violent. But because I was honest and told them, that's why I called the police, man. I have to protect my family and my community.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people run away from things and just let kids sell drugs in front of their house and stuff. I personally, you can't do that in front of my house. You can, and there's a way you can deal with it. You know, you don't have to be violent. You don't have to be anything. You know, you can give them a warning at first if you want to, but otherwise, that's what the police are for. I'm a taxpayer. I will call the police because that's what they're for. They're for to make sure that I'm safe and comfortable in my own house and stuff. And they work for me. So that's the way I look at it. But I always, you know, try to give brother half a chance.
Well, I want to say one other thing about the LSB, the liquor store brother. Some of those brothers are people I love, man, that have made a decision that they're not ready to change their lifestyle anymore, that they are so addicted to alcohol and drugs that they don't feel that they can make a comeback. These are people that I've watched deteriorate over the years, and they're people that I have a compassion for. Unfortunately, many of them won't go back to their families.
Yeah.
And many of them are dealing with grief and trauma and have turned to alcohol and drugs to give them the medication they need.
You know, in Minnesota, there is, what can I say? There is help, but the help won't come to the people. A lot of these organizations, they won't go where their clients are at. When's the last time you seen a treatment center representative talking to the brothers, you know, the liquor store brothers? They don't do it. They won't do the outreach that's necessary. You have to bring help to people sometimes.
Well, they need the funding though too.
Well, they'll get the funding if everybody at the liquor store went to their treatment center, the state would fund it. This is Minnesota.
Yeah.
This is Minnesota. So if I owned a treatment center, you know, them are my customers standing out in front of the liquor store.
Right.
They're either my customers or the liquor store customers and stuff. So I'm gonna make them mine.
Yep, and you know, we always say people have to want it. You know, you do have to want to, you know, me and John just had an opportunity to say, we're tired of getting high. You know, my biggest thing was I don't like being broke. And you can't get high and not be broke, you know, unless you sell more than you use. And by the time you start using, you're using more than you sell. So it just, as much as you think you understand it and you know how to figure it out, it's not, it doesn't work. It's just like when people say, I'm out of the gangs, but I'm still a gang member. How do you do both?
Well, it's impossible.
Right.
It is impossible, you know. And a lot of people are criminals simply because of their drug of choice. You know, that sounds funny, drug of choice. That means this is the drug that I chose. That meant that I tried a few other drugs, but I didn't like them as much and stuff. But the drug of choice is just, that's a crazy analogy.
And right now we're trying to use this drug called hope, passion, motivation, and desire to want to have something. If that's you, if you want to have something, we said all that to say this. If you decide you want to get off your butt and do what you need to do to be that man or that woman that you want to be, then you dial the phone. I say dial because I'm old school, but you push that number, 612-822-1969, 612-822-1969, and you let us help you. You let us transform your life. You let us make, you know, I seen a video, it was funny, man. Grandmother said, a little girl had never been over her grandmother's house, and she still had a rotary phone.
Wow.
And and the girl said, what is this? She said, that's a phone. She said, but how does it work? How do you dial the numbers? And she said, baby, you take the number and you rotate it. It's a rotary phone, so you dial, and she couldn't figure it out. She kept trying to push stuff to make a phone call. And the grandma said, baby, it's a rotary phone. Do you know how removed we are? That's how removed we are from teaching our kids the old school way of living. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You know, somebody said, don't call me sir, don't call me. You know who usually says that? Is white people. Don't call me sir, don't call me ma'am. And we spend most of our lives telling kids, yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. Stop reversing stuff that we do. We're doing that for a reason, so our kids have respect and honor for all their elders. You may go up to your mom and say, hey lady, or whatever you call her, hey Bertha. But we say, you don't call Bertha Bertha, you could Miss Bertha or ma'am, or that's what we do, because we are taught to send respect. And it's got nothing to do with slavery and how we were, yes sir, yes sir. No, it's got something to do with respect and honor for your elders. So many times you hear kids say, excuse me, little Johnny. Yeah, what? Well, wait a minute, hold up. You don't talk to me like that. First of all, say yes sir. I'm not saying yes sir. My mom said I don't have to say that.
Well, I teach, my kids that all people, all adults are to be referred to as Mr. or Mrs. or ma'am or sir, period. That's what I, teach my kids. And yeah, every once in a while you get adults that want to be just called by their first name. Well, that's fine for your kids, but it ain't fine. My kids are going to call you Mr. My kids are going to refer to you as Mrs. So that's, it's a cultural thing. That's what it really is.
Well, before we leave, I want to talk about one thing, and that's politics. Things have changed. We've got a new governor. We've got new county commissioners. We've got a new sheriff. So a lot of things have changed. And so as we get new people in office, there's transitions. So there's going to be transition teams. Congratulations to everybody who won in all areas. And for those people that I've been knowing for years, thanks for your service. Thanks for all that you've done to give Sheriff Stanek. Thanks for your many years of service. Peter McLaughlin, thanks for your many years of service. And all others, Governor Dayton, thank you for your many years of service. And Governor Dayton, man, has been going through some health challenges, but he's just been hanging in there. And,
yeah, that's been for years.
Yeah, he's been a tough trooper. That guy's pretty smart too. I had a chance to really talk to him quite a few times. He's a very bright, very smart, articulate man. When we talk about politics, and politics is all about you getting in there and getting involved.
Yeah.
It's time to get involved now.
Yeah, politics is really deep. And referring to Governor Dayton, I only spoke to him once, and I asked him for a pardon, and he told me no. I'm cool with him. That's his prerogative. But I really deserve that pardon. I should have got it and stuff. But I ain't sweating it. Governor Dayton, thanks for your service. You helped Minnesota tremendously. You did a great job. Good. All right.
You said that in a kind of way, John. I know you. You said that in a way to let me know just a little tainty little bit of hostility about it. I hope you get your pardon, though. I think you deserve it. What happens if you get a pardon? What changes? What changes if you get a pardon?
There's a number of things that change. For one thing, I could go to Australia, which I couldn't. I tried to go to Australia and I couldn't. And another thing, I could work with juveniles because I have an assault on my record, and that's what I needed to be pardoned for, so that I can work with juveniles. That's why I can't work at the county homeschool. That's the reason I tried to get a pardon. I wanted to work with the kids that you work with.
Right. So that we work with. It's our program. We started it.
Well, I don't no longer get to work with them kids, but I just think that
we have a new governor.
Yeah, but if God wants me to have a pardon, if God wants me to work with those kids, he'll make it work.
Maybe the governor works with God.
He might. He might.
Well, we're going to find out, John. We're going to find out if that governor works with God and get you a pardon. One of the things that before we go, I want to talk about. We talked about parents. We talked about our youth. Let's talk about what is it going to take from our parents and our youth to change this community especially the community that we work so much in around the violence and the killings. And I got a call last night from a mother that said, my son's driving around looking for somebody to kill. And I said, what kind of car? What color is the car? So she called the person who they took the car from. This person said, well, I don't know what the car looks like. I don't know what my license plate number. Now you got a car, you don't know what kind of car you got. You don't know your license plate number. There's 6 people with guns driving around to kill other people. Now something's wrong there, right? What do we do to change all this, John?
It's going to take immediate and strong action. You know, we keep talking about the future and what we're going to have to do, but nobody acts on it. You know, you have to act immediately. When our community says enough is enough, it'll be done. You know, when we stand up against violence and oppression of people, it'll be done. You know, and before we go off the air, I've been bugged by something. The immigrants, that caravan that is coming here, there's women and children in that caravan and stuff, and some of them got tear gassed and maced or whatever happened. And I just want to say that my thoughts and prayers go out to them, because what if that was me? What if that was me and my little brothers and mom and dad trying to come to America? Would they have treated me the same way? Mm-hmm. So anyways, I just wanted to say that I think about it.
Now, you know, if my understanding is, I'm not sure though, but you know, if all those people get in America, then it's going to be a whole bunch of let's do it. It worked. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many people we can take in America and afford to take care of them. I don't know. I don't have an idea. It's pretty interesting to me. I never wanted to come here. I was brought here, most of us. So we didn't have a caravan. We were brought here. So that's a different thing. None of the African American people wanted to come to America. We were brought here. We're the only race that didn't come here by choice. Everybody else came to America because they wanted to. Yes. We were brought over in ships, so it divided all our families, and we still have some division in the things that we do and how we live. There's still a lot of division. So we need to be praying, teaching our families to unite and come together, and teaching them about their history and the greatness that we have in this community. Final thoughts, John.
Yes, like I said, my heart just goes out to anybody that's suffering any place in the world. I don't know why they're leaving their country. I don't know why they're afraid for their life. I don't know, but I know that there's women and children suffering, and that's where my prayers are going.
And I believe that we should gather them up and see who, because if Trump says they're criminals, then lock criminals up. If they're not criminals, let those families and people come here and start over and have a fresh life like everybody else, including Trump and his family. They all got a fresh start. Give everybody a fresh start. You're listening to Street Talk. God bless you. We'll see you next week. Minneapolis Television Network. We love you. We out of here.